Welcome back to the Corner Perspective. Hi, I'm Bruce Spangler, CEO of the Volunteer Ministry Center. Located on the corner of 5th Avenue and Broadway, the Volunteer Ministry Center is dedicated to ending and preventing homelessness in Knoxville and Knox County. Today, I am really excited about my guest, Kathy Izard. Kathy, welcome.
Thanks. Thank you.
Kathy is our speaker for our Carry the Torch, which is tomorrow.
Right.
And, welcome to Knoxville.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
I hope that we're a good host.
You have been already.
Oh, well, wonderful. You're very kind. Well, part of what you'll talk about tomorrow is you meeting Denver Moore.
Yes.
From the same kind of different as me 10 years ago in Charlotte, right?
Exactly. At an event that's very similar to Carry the Torch. We call it True Blessings, and it's the annual fundraiser for homeless people experiencing homelessness in Charlotte. And I met Denver and Ron Hall in 2007, November 14th, 2007.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they came in 2008 to Knoxville as well.
Right, the year first, and now we're the 10th anniversary tomorrow.
That's right. Well, what really stuck with you from meeting Denver?
I think when I read the book, I was struck by their authentic friendship. Ron Hall had met Denver Moore in a soup kitchen, and I think Ron thought he was going to go to the soup kitchen and maybe, lift somebody up out of the gutter, and Denver ended up saving him right back. And so I was struck by the story, and I ended up inviting them to this fundraiser in Charlotte. But what happened was I took Denver Moore down to see our urban ministry center, very similar to the volunteer ministry center here in Knoxville. And I was giving him a tour and showing him all the things that I thought were first rate. I thought we had some of the best homeless services around, and honestly, I thought he was going to pat us on the back. And he ended up letting me know that serving soup was not enough.
Yes.
In a very dramatic way. And once he pointed out, I couldn't ever see our ministry the same way again. I could never go down and see that what we were doing was not enough.
Sure.
So I ended up quitting my job and going to work for the Urban Ministry Center, and we ended up building permanent supportive housing, housed over 100 chronically homeless directly from street to home.
And it's called Moore Place, right?
It is called Moore Place, and you will notice the name. It is named for Denver Moore, and also coincidentally or not, I believe it's not a coincidence that John and Pat Moore were the first donors to this idea that we could house chronically homeless directly from street to home, and it's named in their honor.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a copy of your book right here,
Great.
The 100-Story Home, and it tells that story that you've kind of told us in short. But if I may, you also talk about some experience about your mom. May I? Is that okay to mention that?
Oh, absolutely, yes. It's in the book, so it's in the world. I wasn't intending to write about my mother's story, but in writing down Denver and how he's affected and realizing why homelessness imprints on my heart, why I care about people experiencing homelessness, I think it's because I grew up with a mother who was bipolar. I think had my father not been an attorney and had means, it's quite possible my mom at certain times, might have experienced homelessness herself. But instead, she remained housed, she remained with great care, and eventually we did find her all the services that she needed. So I think that was imprinted on me from a young age. And so when I was down at the Urban Ministry Center, and particularly seeing women, and realizing there was no place for women to go in Charlotte, there was no housing options whatsoever, it really did, I think, speak to me of why we needed to build permanent supportive housing for men and women in Charlotte.
Sure. Yeah, your story of including your mom was powerful for me because that anybody that crosses our thresholds at VMC, they are somebody's son, somebody's daughter.
Exactly.
Somebody's brother, somebody's sister, and sometimes someone's father, someone's mother. And so I think you said that when it becomes more personable.
It does. I think I served down at the Urban Ministry Center for almost 12 years, and I definitely kept an arm's distance. There's a 24-inch stainless steel counter between the kitchen and the dining room, and I stayed very comfortably behind that stainless steel counter for many years. I think because I had a fear of people on the other side of the counter, fearful that it was mental illness, fearful that their stories might be very similar to my mother's. And I'd never been able to help her So in my mind, I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to do anything to help them. And so it was really Denver more that brought me around the counter and probably hit me upside the head in a way that I could never see that anymore, and I couldn't stay behind the counter any longer, that I felt compelled that I had to at least try. I felt 100% unqualified to do anything, but I also felt it was going to be crazy not to at least try.
Sure. Well, I'm looking forward to your presentation tomorrow.
Thank you.
And I kind of get a gist that it's inviting all of us to come around the counter.
I think it is. I think when you allow yourself to be in relationship with someone not like you, that will transform you. Obviously, the dollars that are given tomorrow at the luncheon, the time that people give, that is transformative to this organization. But people coming around the counter and really getting in relationship, that will transform both.
Yeah, very well said. I hate to end our conversation short now, but thank you so much, Kathy, for joining me today.
Thank you.
And you're right, it is about relationships.
It is.
Well, thank you for joining us in this episode of The Corner Perspective. Hope that you'll join us next time.